If you're watching this video, then that means I am dead. Nah, I'm just kidding. It means we didn't get a September Direct this year. So for about the past month or so, we have all been waiting for some sort of big, heavy-hitting announcement from Nintendo, whether that be the reveal of the Switch 2 or a traditional Nintendo Direct. And today being the first day of October, we can finally safely say we didn't get fucking shit in September. There was a lot of people that firmly believed we were going to get the long-awaited reveal of the Switch 2 in September, mainly because we got so many leaks about it during September. And there was a smaller camp, which I was a part of, that believed that we were not going to get the Switch 2 announced, but we were going to get a new Nintendo Direct in September. Obviously, we're both wrong. But as I said in the last Metroid video, talking about when we were going to get Prime 2 and 3 remastered, which you should totally go watch if you haven't already. But what I discussed there is pretty much what I'm going to summarize here in terms of the timeline. I believed one of them would get announced in September because the September Directs are just generally the safest option. Now, granted, I wasn't 100% like certain we were going to get a September Direct coming into September this year, mainly because the June Direct was the only Direct we got in that, so far, which by the looks of it may be our only Direct for 2024, which is just bonkers to me because it wasn't really anything special. I mean, yeah, we got Prime 4 and another remake of Country Returns, but it just, I don't know, it just wasn't super special. Kind of like, it wasn't like last year's June Direct, which was like amazing. This one was all right. It wasn't mediocre. It was good, but just not like to like as good as they can get, if you kind of see what I'm saying. But I did hold out hope, and a few people did too, that we would get a Direct in September, mainly because September Directs have always been that most consistent Direct block that we've ever gotten. We rarely, I don't think we've ever really, I mean, we probably have once or twice, like over a decade ago, gotten like a regular Direct in October or November, but generally speaking, the October and November Directs are usually reserved for specific games. I think most notably the 2018 November 1st Smash Ultimate Direct, which was the final Direct before that game. But generally speaking, like I said, September Directs are just usually the most consistent, and without counting 2020 because we didn't get anything that year because the whole fucking world shut down, ever since 2016, we have gotten a September Direct every year. So 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, not 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, we have gotten Nintendo Directs in September every year since then. That's almost a decade, and for this to be the first year that we're not getting a September Direct is just, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Like I said in the Metroid video, which I'm just going to quote one more time, this year in Directs has been weird. Usually we get one in spring, but they're kind of hard to pinpoint because it'd be anywhere from January to March. And then usually the June Directs were always reserved for E3. But with us not getting one in 2022 because E3 didn't happen in 2022, I don't blame them for not doing the June Directs. I would much rather prefer the spring and then the September. That's just kind of how I've always been accustomed to it. But yeah, for us to not get a September Direct, I don't know. I just thought that wasn't really possible because we just, it kind of breaks tradition. It's kind of a cool tradition, and a lot of people, and as of last year, like me as well, would go back to school, and hey, you start off the school year with a new Nintendo Direct, which is kind of nice. So yeah, does that completely rule out the fact that we will not get one in October or November? No, I actually would prefer us to get a Nintendo Direct. Actually, here's where I see it. So the Nintendo Switch 2, we don't know what it is yet. And I think within the next like October and November, because I would bet a lot of money that we don't get any sort of like big heavy hitting announcement like that in December. I don't know, it just seems like an obvious thing where it's like we wouldn't get anything in regards to Switch 2 or Nintendo Direct in December. But in terms of October and November, I think it's now finally down to what we're getting, like which one are we getting? Are we going to get a Direct or are we going to get the Switch 2 revealed? I don't see a scenario where we get both. That's also why I laid out that timeline for us getting Prime 2 in September, like laying out Direct in September, because if we got a Direct in September, that would also allow Nintendo, I think, in a reasonable mindset, which we know is very rare, to kind of, hey, we have a Direct in September, we could talk about the Switch, what else is coming out in 2025, maybe some like little games that come out, for the rest of the year in 2024, and then in October, November, we can announce the Switch 2. Now that we kind of have, sized it down to a 2-month thing, I don't think we're going to get a Direct 1 month and then the Switch 2 revealed another month. There is a little bit of hope that we do get a direct over the Switch 2 announcement, because I personally would like to see another Nintendo Direct, especially considering that all the rumors and speculators right now and all the leakers are saying that the Switch 2 is probably going to come out next year around this time in October, November. So I do find it kind of unlikely we get a Switch 2 announcement. If that's true this year, it just doesn't make that much sense. I mean, compare it to the Switch's reveal, which was in October. That's also why I didn't think we would get the Switch 2 announced in September, because the Switch was announced in October. I thought they'd mirror each other pretty well. But yeah, that if we get the Switch 2 announced in like that January to March spread, we won't get a direct either. I don't think. I think we'll get something similar to the Switch presentation we got in January of 2017. So yeah, I don't know. I just think the next few months are going to be kind of weird, kind of, crazy a little bit. I just kind of would like to see another Nintendo Direct, because it just, I don't know, it just kind of seems like a letdown that we're only getting one this year. And it seems more and more likely that we're getting a Switch 2 announcement, despite it maybe coming out at the end of 2025. But really, the next 2 months, it's up to, whatever comes out, whatever they decide to announce. If we get the Switch 2, I would go as far to say we're not going to get another traditional Nintendo Direct until like June of 2025, which would fucking suck. But if we do get a Nintendo Direct, I don't think we'll get the Switch 2 revealed until 2025, which I know for some people is not the most ideal, but if it's not coming out until, let's say, October, then I think it's kind of reasonable. I don't know. I find it very interesting, because it just kind of throws a fork in, what we're all expecting. I guess Nintendo's the only one that knows, but they also, they just kind of do shit as they please. It's kind of weird. But yeah, I personally hope we get a Nintendo Direct within the next 2 months. I don't know how likely that is, but that's just kind of how I think about it. If you guys have any other opinions, in terms of like the Direct kind of lineup, or like how things could line up, or what you guys think how the thing will go, whether you think we'll get the Switch 2 revealed this month, and then we won't see a Nintendo Direct until next year, or you think we'll see both. If you want to start a conversation in the comments, I was just making this just to make a video, but if you want to start a conversation in the comments about it, I'd love to talk to you all. You see what you guys all think. Just kind of give me some hope, or just kind of ruin my fucking dreams. Anyway, yeah. Cool.